What is up, guys and gals? Raph here from B&C Camera, and we're switching things up a bit in this episode. Has the thought of doing a podcast ever come to mind? If so, stick around as we'll be hitting on some topics that'll get you moving and grooving to getting your podcast finally up and running. Podcasting is all the rage right now, and everyone is jumping on this train to listen to everything from true crime, comedy, and even self-help shows. Before you start recording, make sure you have the basics to launch your podcast. We'll go over some main bullet points to keep everything nice and organized. We're going to go ahead and discuss podcast, theme, and name. All podcasts have a theme to help form conversations and make it easier for them to tune in and enjoy. You can talk about a wide variety of topics and themes. Be creative and try to think outside the box, but make sure you're picking something that you care about and have a passion for. It can be increasingly challenging to continue to talk about something you aren't interested in or have little knowledge of. Most of all, you want to make sure that your listeners are engaged. There will be a bunch of themes you can hit on, but do start small and keep a focus. Consider a catchy tagline that'll make you either stand out from the rest or something that'll stick to the minds of your listeners. After you've established your brand, it's a good idea to ask opinions. Try asking close peers and family members. Alrighty, next up, let's go ahead and build the brand up with logos and photos. Hire a graphic designer to create a logo for you after a name and niche are picked. Not only will you need a logo, but you'll want channel and episode cover art to make your show that much more professional. An excellent place to start is choosing a color template that you like best and taking it from there. If you are hiring this job out, your designer should know your specific brand labeling. Take the opportunity to take headshots and photos of all the people involved in the podcast. Listeners like to put a face to a name, so it's a good idea to promote yourself with pictures. Next up will be intro and outro music. Another fun part about launching your podcast is picking intro and outro music. You can easily find royalty-free music through many sources and websites. Or if you're musically inclined yourself, you can always create the sound you'd want for your show, which makes it that much more enjoyable. Now once the table is set for that, you're going to want to purchase the right equipment. Investing in the best equipment and software will help your podcast go and grow a long way. Here are some things to consider. First up is going to be microphones. If you're recording as a group, of course you'll want to purchase more than one microphone. Now there are several options out there, from standard tabletop USB microphones, wireless lavalier systems if you're deciding to simulcast and do video recordings and hide all the wires, to higher fidelity condenser and cardioid systems that will really make your audio pop, but of course in a good way. Popular podcast microphone brands include Shure, Sennheiser, Rode, and Saramonic, just to name a few. Next up, you're going to want to have a good recording software for your systems. If you're really wanting to get some high-end production going, you can look into some programs such as Adobe Audition and Pro Tools from Avid, which are some of the industry-grade standards. If you're using your phone to record, consider downloading Auphonic, a mobile app to record and edit audio. Anchor is another great app for phone users out there that are just starting out and wanting to predominantly have a phone-based podcast workflow. Another big factor to consider is creating your studio. Make sure you have a quiet space free of any outside noise. Something as small as a faint beeping noise will get picked up by your microphone. You want to be able to record your episodes crystal clear. If you have the money to spend, you can even think about noise cancellation and adding paddings to your walls. Once everything is good to go, you can go ahead and get started with the recordings. Well, almost. It's always good to have an outline before you get started. An overview of your episode will help you keep you on track. If you write a word-for-word script about what you're wanting to talk about, you risk having your podcast sounding inorganic. After you have everything fully prepared, hit record and have some fun. Be sure to record an introduction to briefly discuss who you are and what you'll be talking about. Now that we've got the main things out of the way and you've got your podcast recorded, let's go ahead and talk about podcast hosting, publishing your first episode, and some marketing tips. Okay, so podcast hosting. Now that the fun part's over, you'll need a host. Podcast hosting services will get your episodes on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. Here are a few recommendations, some of them free, others not. You have sites such as Podbean, Buzzsprout, Audioboom, and of course SoundCloud. Once you've selected a host, all you have to do is publish your first episode. The best part is that you'll only need to do this once, and then your episodes will automatically be added. In terms of marketing, you can always use social media. It's quick, easy, and best of all, free. You can use Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you think the podcast demographic is going to hit home the best. We've covered a lot in this video, and these are just the basics. There is so much more to podcasting, especially so the more you continue to grow alongside your listeners. Don't be deterred or discouraged if it seems like no one's listening. First and foremost, do the podcast for you. Be unique and express that along with your individuality to the world. Let us know in the comments section what we may have missed or some experiences of your own. Again, please do give the video a like if you found it useful, share it to other would-be podcasters that need that little extra push, and subscribe as we'll be discussing more insightful creative topics in the future. This is your main DJ on the replay, Raph from BNC, and we'll catch you on those airwaves.